Hi guys, welcome to my bathroom. I have to pack for a vacation. I'm going to Mallorca before my baby arrives. I'm pregnant, if you didn't know, so I'm about 6 months, and I thought it would be a good idea to just get one last trip in before the baby arrives. So as I pack, I'm going to show you guys some products because you've been asking me about my skincare routine, some nails and things like that. So I thought I would just mention some of my favorites that I just cannot live without. They have changed my life. And as I do that, I want to talk to you today about how to be alone, but not lonely. So first things first, let's get through some products real quick. I have to say, I have rosacea. So the best thing, I think, if you have the resources, if you have the money, you should actually go to a dermatologist and you should get them to examine your skin and tell you what your skin type is, if you have any issues going on, and they can prescribe you what you might need medication-wise. But I've also had my doctor tell me what I could buy to cleanse, tone, moisturize, etc., etc. And she just told me there was a product line to go to buy, and she said you could just buy it at the pharmacy. For me, I've realized, since I have very sensitive skin, it's probably in your best interest, if you also have sensitive skin, to maybe purchase the more expensive things, or think about it as, is there anything that you could buy that's perfume free, as natural as possible, and be consistent with your skincare. Everyone needs to be consistent with their skincare, and then you'll see results. So I was told to use the La Roche-Posay. Sorry, my phone is like low battery, so I don't know if it's even, yeah, it's recording. Okay. La Roche-Posay, I don't know how you pronounce it. I believe it is a French brand, and it's the Rosaliac, which is for rosacea line that they carry. And this is a gel cleanser. So I first cleanse with a cream cleanser, which is also from La Roche-Posay. I don't know if it's part of the Rosaliac line, but I will do that with the cream. I rub it on my face. Then I go in with a washcloth and I wipe it away very lightly. I love baby washcloths. So I will do the cream cleanser, which I don't have. I just ran out of it and threw the bottle away, but it's by La Roche-Posay. I wipe it away. Then I go in and I rub this on my face, no water. Then I rub some water on my hands, very little bit of water, and I rub it through with the cleanser, the gel cleanser, and I just massage my face for like a whole minute or two, and I get a second one of these and I lightly wipe it away. So I do like a double cleansing. Then this product changed my life. I love it. It's so worth all the money. Lancome Tonique Comfort. It has like rose water, I believe, and a little bit of hyaluronic acid, and it's a soft toning lotion. So in the warmer, more humidity, in the times where there's more humidity in the air, I can get away with just that. So really, that's my skincare routine. Oh, and I use the Laneige lip mask. Let me see if I can find it without getting up, because I don't want to get up. I'm too lazy. I use this lip mask before I go to bed. And sometimes I put Ritual's it's like a hand mask. I put that on my hands at night, and I just really rub it into the cuticles, in between the fingers, and get it nice and thick, laid on thick. And then I go to sleep, and the next morning, my hands are super soft. Oh, that's not all. In the winter months, I put this Paula's Choice Exfoliate. It is 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. I do that at night. I don't do it in the daytime. My skin is way too sensitive to be doing all that. Okay, get that in there. So that's that. I try to make that really short, but honestly, that is like, I think simple is the best, at least for me. And I know I may have some very expensive products, but since I don't have a 12-step routine, I only have like 4 or 5 products that I use, it actually keeps the cost a little bit lower and I see results. So for me, it's worth it. I budget it in and I buy everything. Everything I only buy discounted. Let's move on to some mental health. All right, just excuse me. I'm going to like clean up some things and organize as I'm talking. We were talking about like how you can be alone but not lonely. So when I moved to Norway, I didn't have that many friends. I was very lucky that my husband has his sister who's around the same age as me, and she had some girlfriends she introduced me to, but they were all kind of busy with their own lives and university, work, you know, like busy stuff. So, and it wasn't up to them to like take care of me while I couldn't work and figure out this whole expat life. So I started thinking to myself, okay, how am I going to use up some of this time, and really start to think about who I am as a person, what skills I want, what I want for my future. And it was hard. It was a tough time, but I'm really thankful for that time, because with that time, I actually got, I got to know myself. I got to know my values, and I built up skills that I use to this day. Cooking, I really learned how to cook, and now I can cut vegetables real quick and I can make meals pretty quickly, and I have a good baseline of how to create basically any recipe that I want to, and I can kind of experiment and I can create things and use up what I have in my pantry and in my refrigerator, which is great. It saves me money and it's healthy. So anyways, enough about my story. I am saying to you that every person is going to be lonely. They actually need that time so that they can get to know themselves. And if you are feeling lonely, you need to think about what kind of hobbies you want to have in your life to occupy your time, to build skill sets. That's a big thing. And when you're like, I don't know what hobby I want, I don't know what to do. Well, I don't know, like what sports did you play as a kid? Like think about that. Or what has ever interested you? There's some things that interest me. I've always wanted to play tennis. I never had an instructor. I think I picked up a tennis racket twice in my life. So maybe I will take on that as one of my hobbies. I love my hobby of playing with makeup, dressing up with clothes. I think some of us, we forget that the things that we did in childhood actually can go into our adult lives. And we kind of just don't take out the time to do these hobbies anymore because of, yeah, I get it, because of work and school, kids, and the stresses of life. But I do believe it's worth it to take out the time to do that. Even if you have kids, take out the time, figure out how you can do it if you have the money and the resources. Even if it's just 10 minutes. Sometimes I sit there and I do watercolor painting for 10 minutes. It's my son might want to watch something on TV, and I just let him go ahead and do that, and I sit there and I do my watercolor painting, and sometimes he will join me as well. And I think it's nice that he sees me as an adult doing something that has nothing to do with technology. I also love reading. Gosh, guys, use the library. The library has so much for you. Oh my gosh, I sometimes I'm like, how do people not go to the library on a weekly or monthly basis and just go grab some books to read? And it's a whole world inside of there that you can just go ahead and explore. Also, they have classes like technology classes, and you can rent sewing machines at some libraries. So there you go, and build up some kind of skills, because those things are going to save you money in the end. It could be a great hobby, and that hobby can turn into money. However, you don't need to make any money off of this. This is just for you and for your mental health. Don't worry about making money. Just think about what you're interested in. And maybe later on down the line, it could become a business. I think the most important thing here is to remember that being alone and feeling lonely is totally normal. Everyone goes through this. And when I am going through a rough time, I resort to mantras. Pick one that's your favorite and you can just go to it every time. So, pardon me. When I'm feeling lonely and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored, I'm so lonely, and now I'm getting sad. Okay, I stopped myself because it's not necessary to go ahead and get myself stuck in such a sad place and stay there for too long. I always go to my mantra where I say something along the lines of, this time is good for me because it is teaching me to be present and to love myself. That is the key, I believe. It's necessary. So now when I am bored, I don't overthink my life so much. I start going into my toolbox and I'm like, okay, what are the hobbies? What do I want to do? What do I need to do? Not now that I'm pregnant, but I usually will try to like have a glass of wine or a tea and just put myself in my room and try to make up a bunch of different outfits, try on different jewelry, mix and match stuff so that when I don't have much time to find an outfit, I can always refer back to that. Perfect. I could literally use a whole day doing that if I wanted to. I could do self-care. I have learned how to do my manicures basically like a professional because I had the time. Yeah, I think actually you need this so that you can grow as a person. You can decide who you want your true friends to be. I think that's maybe my last point I'm getting to here as well, is that I needed the time to be alone for a long time and really get to know who I am, what I value, so that when I was kind of getting into this new chapter in my life and I was starting a new job, I ended up going to school again, I made new friends in my new city, I was making those friends that actually had the same values as me, because I was thinking to myself, now I have the confidence to be alone. So if people don't really like me for who I truly am, which is a kind person, and then on top of it, my interests that I have, I don't need to compromise and start taking on other people's interests just to please them, just to keep them around so that I don't get lonely. And that is so, so important. That's what I'm really trying to get at today, is that this time is meant to be. Now, I do have to say, there is some things that you could do to be proactive so that you aren't alone as often as possible. Of course, you can evaluate your life if you want to, but I would also think about it as who is in your tribe, who's part of your village. You need to set up regular interactions with those people. You need to set up coffee dates. You can just go window shopping with people. You can go to museums. You can go on a hike. Pardon me. Ask that person if they want to join the sport that you are interested in trying. Because like if I start tennis, I'm gonna need to find a partner, right? Like that's that for today. I hope that this has helped you. If it has, please like the video. And if you want to consider actually being a part of our community of like-minded people who want to improve our lives in a simple, easy way, then please subscribe to the channel and don't hesitate to comment down below. We always have chats going on down there. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.